Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Chat Zone. I'm your host, Donna Ritchie. On today's show, I'm talking with a naturopathic doctor who is a great friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Trudy Chandler, and she's going to give us great tips on just taking care of our body from a natural standpoint. So take a look at this and enjoy. Hey, it's that time again. It's the Chat Zone. I'm your host, Donna Ritchie, and I have a very special guest who's a really good friend of mine as well. She's Dr. Trudy Chandler, and she's with the LifeSpring Wellness Center. Welcome to the Chat Zone.
Thank you, Donna.
It's so good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Now, you're into naturopathic health care.
Yes, I am.
Okay. What is naturopathic?
Well, naturopathic is getting back to God's way of doing things, to where it addresses the spirit, soul, and the body. You can't just do one thing and specialize in that, but you've got to address the whole body. And doing it in a natural way, not with chemicals or medications or anything like that. Mostly nutrition, herbs, vitamins, the healthy way. Okay,
so the body is comprised of three components: the spirit, the soul, and the body. And oftentimes would you agree that we focus on maybe there are some that focus strictly on the spirit side or the soul side, and some on the natural side?
Yeah, like they say, you know, a lot of people that focus mostly on the spiritual side, like you're so spiritually minded, you're no earthly good, you know, that you've heard that before. But yeah, you have to address all three, because we are spirit. We were spirit before we ever had a body. And then we have a soul, which is our mind, our intellect, you know, and our reasoning. And then we live in a body. So the body is the temple, like the scripture says, the temple of the Holy Spirit. So he dwells within. So we've got to focus more on all three. If not, you're going to be out of balance. Yes. And that creates disease. Okay. Well, then there is a such thing as naturopathic and homeopathic. What is the difference in those? Well, naturopathic, again, addresses the whole body, you know, spirit, soul, and body. Homeopathic mostly deals with remedies that where you can take natural frequencies of different herbs and things like that, and you make remedies from it. So that would be the homeopathic. Okay. Would that when you make these, when the remedies are made, is it for from natural means, like instead of getting processed nutrients or what have you, or processed antidotes, it's all natural? Yes. Okay. How important is that for the body? Oh, it's very important, because the body resonates with that. See, when we put chemicals in our body, the body looks at that as a foreign substance coming in, and automatically your blood starts a warfare. You know, you have cells that are T cells that are actually warriors that go in there and start fighting anything that's not natural to the body. Well, how do you know when your body is battling something that you put in it? Well, you can have a reaction such as allergy. For instance, a lot of allergies is because we're putting substance in our bodies that our body is not accepting. And so it's trying to tell us, don't do that. Yes, yes. Well, and I don't know if because I've gotten a little bit more mature in life, I'm learning how to listen to my body and pay attention to my body, because it's amazing. The body gives you signals all along, but either there are two things that happen, two components. Either it does not, we don't know what it is, or we don't recognize what the conflict is. And I'm learning how to listen to my body a lot more naturally and spiritually. And how important is that? That's very important, because see, nothing happens naturally in the body unless it first happens in the spiritual realm and the soulish realm, such as disease. Excuse me. Disease comes because there's a spiritual aspect, maybe fear or anger or unforgiveness, and as long as we hold that and don't get rid of that spirit of unforgiveness, for instance, then it will find a lodging place, because it's constantly on our mind. You know, we don't want to forgive this person, don't want to get along with that person or whatever, and it's constantly on our mind, so it can actually find places to lodge in the body. And then we have the physical aspect of the aches and pains and inflammation. such as unforgiveness creates arthritis and joint pain.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I remember there was a show that I did in Atlanta, and we were talking about the stresses of life and how stress can bring on it can bring on all types of diseases like diabetes and gout and just all the different diseases. Because is it because your immune system is down, or it wears on your body immunely? You think?
Well, and two, with us being spiritual, we open up doors to where these things can come in and dwell within us, and then it creates a reaction. Which, if you're angry, see, I do live blood analysis in my center, and I can take one drop of blood, look under the microscope, and tell exactly what's going on. So a person that comes in that has anger, you can see that in the blood.
Really?
A person that comes in and they're happy and everything's going well for them, you can see that in the blood.
What? Can you describe what it looks like? I mean, is the blood maybe moving slower, or is it moving more rapid?
It creates, you know, the pH will change, because if you're angry, then the pH is more acid.
Oh, wow.
If you are happy and jubilant, then it's more alkaline. And so what I see in the body is when the body is too acid, then the blood cells that's supposed to be floating free, they actually start sticking together, and then they start clumping on top of each other, and then it looks like a stack of pennies. And even if you ate salads and was eating the healthiest you can, your body is still malnourished, because in the shape your blood's in, it's not getting the nutrition or even the hydration that you need. Okay. So because of the condition of the blood cells themselves.
How do you eradicate that? How do you get rid of that?
Well, drinking proper water, you know, that's more alkaline water. Plus also the foods that you eat. That plays a big part in how the body reacts, because
even if you're under stress or there's some kind of anxiety.
Yeah, you have to work on that as well, because all of that creates toxicity in the body.
And it's amazing, because the body it makes its own acid anyway, which means we do need to yield more to alkalinity, things that'll help our body heal itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess that's the reason why, in a nutshell, stress and things like that is just not good for the body.
No,
it's
it
not.
isn't. Like they say, stress will kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
or
true.
make you wish you were dead.
That's so true. But what are some other things that you check for? Because I know, like vibration. Do you do
Yeah,
that?
the way I got started in this is I was sick, and so I went to a lady, and she worked with magnets. And magnets are very, very powerful, because we are energy. And you know, when you go and get an EKG and stuff like that, they're working with magnets. When you get an MRI, that's a magnet field. And so they can actually see a lot through using magnets. Well, she moved around these magnets on me, and I could tell such a big difference in my energy and how I felt. And I thought, well, Lord, you know, this is really bringing health to my body. And so she told me to go and have a good massage, which I'm a massage therapist too, and have them work on the lymphatic system and move some toxins out of my body.
What, through a massage?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Massage work is excellent. Everybody should be doing that, because it's, number one, it gets the blood circulating.
Right.
If you have pain in an area, and that's because there's stagnation of energy there, and the blood can be very clogged up in that area, not blood clots or anything like that, but I mean it becomes more toxic in that area, which it becomes inflamed. So massage work actually helps to loosen that up, get more oxygen in there, more blood flow, and it can help get rid of the pain in that area.
Oh, wow.
So it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went and started getting massage work done to work on lymphatic system. See, your lymphatic system is just right underneath the skin. And if you have a sore place, if you just start massaging that area, then you can help get energy in there. You can help get the blood flow, the circulation going, and then most of the time it will feel better. So We were actually working on the lymphatic system of my body, and the lymphatic system is there to remove toxins from the body. That is the way your body removes toxins. So
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so we started moving toxins out of my body from medications that I had been on and things like that. And so it just started, I started saying, well, I knew that it brought health to me.
Did you feel better?
I did.
Okay.
I mean, those two ladies, the massage therapist and this other naturopathic doctor, helped me more than any medical doctor out there.
Wow.
And so I realized, Lord, I can do this too to help other people.
Yes.
So that's really how I got started in this.
Well, you know, and I think now in today's world, because there are so many anxieties and stresses there, that going the natural way is the way to go, because then you don't have all the synthetics that your body, because those things are just not natural. And I believe that the body should have natural things like natural fruits and your vegetables and the things that you should eat, the vitamins and things like that. How do you know? Because one size doesn't fit all in life. So how do you know if your body needs a certain thing more than it needs another, like in vitamins and things like that? I mean,
well, by knowing about the energies, about the magnets and how it affects the energy fields and things like that, I've really been studying, and this is what really excites me, is learning about the frequency. Do you know that you can take the frequency of a fruit, say for instance an orange or a grapefruit or something like that, and there's a special kind of clock that will actually run on the frequency of that fruit.
A special kind of clock?
Yeah,
really?
It's a special kind of clock. I saw it on a video, and it's very expensive, but you can plug that clock into an orange, and it will actually run on the frequency of that orange. So see, our body is frequency, it's energy. And so with that energy, it will relate to other energies that God created. And a bottle of pills that the doctor gives you, you know, that's not a normal thing. It's not a natural thing. And so the body sort of stands back from it, you know. And then things that are natural, that, like you say, become sensitive to your own spirit man, to where it will pull to that. And then you can realize, like if you had 2 lemons here, and one lemon, you sort of push away from it. And you think, but it's a lemon, it should be good for me.
And that's just a natural reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have the other lemon that is organic, and your body pulls to that.
Little things like that that we really don't pay attention to, but now that you're bringing it to light, now, like myself, I'm going to pay more attention to how my body responds to the different things that I bring to it.
Right, exactly.
And I'm amazed at the energy, and I've heard people talk about energy and vibration and how important that is, but I just never knew, you know, that's something that I needed to really pay attention to in my daily life.
Yeah. And this is the way that the Lord made us, to where we will know what's good for us, whether there's anybody there telling us yes or no. So, you know, we can judge for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, as to what's healthy.
Well, I'm excited about this information. I hope you are too, as excited as I am. We're going to have more with Dr. Trudy Chandler right after this, so don't go away.
Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back. Are you tired of being sick? Try our amazing alkaline water. Come visit us at the Water Depot, 3312 Highway 21, Unit 102, Fort Mill, South Carolina 29715, or visit us online at DonnaRitchie.com or unforgettablewater.com. Change your water, change your health. Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone.
Welcome back. I'm talking with Dr. Trudy Chandler of Life Spring Wellness Center, and we were talking about just naturopathic remedies for the body, and we as a people, how we're basically going to have to get back to the basics, and the basics is fruit and vegetation.
Yeah, in Genesis 1:29 it says that we're supposed to have fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and grains. That was the original garden plan, you know, when Garden of Eden. But we've incorporated meats, which after the flood, that was okay to do that. But the thing is, except for pork, we're not supposed to eat that. And you know why we don't eat pork?
Why?
Is because there's certain parasites in pork that you have to cook over 600 degrees, and it still will not kill all the parasites in pork. So that's why on trichinosis, we had an outbreak of trichinosis years ago, you know, in other countries. But that's the parasite that's in pork. So it's not just a Jewish thing that everybody thinks about, but it's a health thing. And so we've got to start thinking more healthy. But our fruits and vegetables do so much for us because it's God's way of cleaning the body, detoxing the body, building the muscles and tissues, and just keeping us in a healthy state. Do you know that if you ate just fruits and vegetables, then most people say, oh, well, I need meat because I got to have that protein. But when you look, there's more protein in a stalk of broccoli than there is a pound of steak.
Really? Wow.
Steak is dead, broccoli's alive.
Yes.
Now what happens is when we put the live food inside of us, it has a vibrational frequency of its own. So it goes to the organ that says, oh, I like broccoli, you know, and it brings health and healing to that area. So like blueberries is good for the eyes, and that's why they say certain fruits and vegetables are good for certain parts of the body to help heal that part, is because the vibrational frequency of that fruit or vegetable actually resonates with the organ of the body.
Okay. So and that's the difference between actually taking a vitamin versus having the fruit. The fruit does a little bit more, or fruit and vegetation does a little bit more. It can cover certain areas. It can zero in on something like we've always been taught. Carrots are good for the eyes, but it does other things as well.
Oh yes, it does. Yeah, the fiber actually helps to clean the colon as well, and death begins in the colon. So if you've got colon back up there, you know, then you need to eat more fruits and vegetables, and it helps. You know, the roughage from a carrot, not just the juice of it, but the roughage from the carrot actually acts as a toothbrush that goes through. It cleans the little fibers that's on the inside the colon wall. So that keeps everything moving properly.
Now, what about organic? Would you recommend organic food, fruit and vegetables?
Well, it's supposed to have less pesticides and less chemicals and things like that on organic foods. But you can use Kangen water, for instance, and wash off the pesticides of the fruits and vegetables, and you've done a healthy thing for yourself. And we were talking even before the commercial break about that feeling inside, that inner knowing, and I was saying how it seemed like the older I get, the more I pay attention to that. And it's not to say that it never was there. It was there in my younger years, but I just didn't pay attention to it because I was unaware that, you know, there may be some truth to this. And so how important is it to listen to that inner, because you don't really know, so how important is it to listen to that? It's very important because we don't know, we don't have all the head knowledge of everything that's out there that's good or bad for us.
But wouldn't that intuition, that instinct, that instinctive feeling, there has to be some truth in there that maybe we are on the surface not totally aware of it.
Right. That spirit man, that is the spirit man on the inside of you. He knows all things. And so he knows what's good for you. He knows what to stay away from. He knows, so we call it that gut feeling. You know, that knowing, you know, because you know, and you know right here, not up here.
and usually we say, I don't know how I know, but I know.
Exactly. It's important to pay attention to that, especially now in the last days. I believe we're right before the coming of the Lord, and He's going to make us more aware. His children are actually becoming more in tune with that spirit man, realizing, just like you are, realizing that that's more important than what I think, you know. And
I would liken it unto, it supersedes what I think.
Exactly.
Because what I think, I'm thinking,
the first time I got the notion to pay attention to that inner knowing, I had the question was, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? You know, and then as I tried it a little bit, I thought, oh, it is the right thing. I did the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
In head knowledge, we try to analyze.
Yes.
We tear it apart. We think we know which is right. But the spirit man actually knows. So if we stay in tune with that, then we'll be on the right track of what's healthy and making wise choices through life.
Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back. Are you tired of being sick? Try our amazing alkaline water. Come visit us at the Water Depot, 3312 Highway 21, Unit 102, Fort Mill, South Carolina 29715, or visit us online at DonnaRitchie.com or unforgettablewater.com. Change your water, change your health. Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone.
I know we talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, and I always encourage people to pay attention to their body. You have to pay attention to your body and know what the different pangs or the different inclinations, know what they mean, find out what they mean.
Right.
Because that's so important.
Yeah, and the body has a blueprint. God put within each of us a blueprint. We call it DNA, whatever. But there is a blueprint put within everybody, and that body is always striving to get to that perfect blueprint, get back to the perfect person that God created to start with. And it will heal itself if we give it the proper nutrition, give it the proper hydration, and remove stress from our life, forgive and let go.
Well, I've heard the saying too that forgiveness is not about the other person that you're forgiving. Forgiveness is about you. It relieves you of the stress of letting go. Is
Forgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person to die. Really, it does you more harm than them.
Yes.
I had a little animosity with a lady that was at our church. And every time I'd wake up, she was on my mind, and I kept in my spirit about her. Why did she do this? Why did she say that? Why did she do this? And so the Lord told me, and she was always on my mind. And the Lord just told me, He said, well, bless her. And I said, I don't want to bless her. She's been mean. I don't want to bless her. He said, but the only way you're going to get free is to bless her. So I just gritted my teeth, and I said, Lord, you bless her, and I just kept sending blessings to her. Before long, that thing had broken off of me, and I was free. Now, she knew nothing about what was going on with me, but I was free, and that's the person I have to deal with.
Yeah. And so it makes you free of stress. It makes you free of the anxiety of having to deal with that. And I guess I can say that even for me, learning how to just let things go and not. And my prayer has always been, God, if I have any unforgiveness in my heart, then I'm forgiving it, but you help me not to have that unforgiveness. And I'm telling you, it works. It works. It works. And then sometimes people say, well, you're so calm about it. Yeah, because that's it's not me. It's definitely God giving me that peace that passes even my own understanding. Because sometimes I can't even fathom, because naturally you're inclined to do the natural thing, and that's to retaliate, but that it's not helpful for you.
No, it isn't. Because it will find a lodging place in your body, and it will create pain, and then it can create disease. That's why so many people have disease. They're hanging on to past hurts. It's called soul wounds, where they have been wounded in their soul. Somebody has said something against them. Somebody has, or we say things against ourselves. Well, why'd you do that, stupid? That was a stupid thing to do, and so we put ourselves down, but when we do, we're creating a wound, actually taking a dagger and hurting our own soul. And then it takes the Lord to come in there and heal that wound.
Absolutely.
forgiveness and through, getting rid of anger and bitterness and all these things.
Well, I like what you said about when there's anxiety in the body or when there are stresses in the body, how sometimes, for example, it can go to your knee and there's inflammation there from stress. And that to me is so amazing how that happens.
Like a person that has kidney problems, for instance, you could say, well, what are you holding on to?
Really?
You can ask questions. You can ask yourself questions that will bring health and healing to your own body. Well, what am I holding on to? And we can build walls even in our own heart to where we can't accept love, we can't give love. And it's because we're hiding behind this wall and it's affecting our heart issues, and our heart conditions. So these things are very, very important and they're very real.
So would you say the next time there is a something in your health that's not in your body that's not quite working right or feeling right, to check with inside you to make sure you're not under stress, you're not under any kind of anxiety, you're not under any kind of hostile whatever's environments or things like that. How important is that?
It's very, very important because emotionally, we have most disease is created because of emotional stress.
Okay. That is so good. That's so good. Well, now you have a website. What is your website information?
The website is
Web address?
The web address is www.lifespringwell.com.
Okay. Okay. And well, if you want to get in touch with Dr. Trudy, and maybe you might have some questions about certain situations in your life or your health, then Dr. Trudy, she is a wealth of information, and I know her personally, and she is a wealth of information. She has helped me and my family a lot just from a natural standpoint as far as getting our health in a natural way, and I certainly do appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming on my show.
Thank you, Donna. I've enjoyed it.
And I hope that you have learned something today and take away some good information about your health and get out from under the stress.
Right.
So I am so excited about that. Thank you so much, Dr. Trudy, for being a part of our show. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Chat Zone. Bye-bye.
I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Chat Zone, and I hope you've been able to glean some information from this. So until next time, I'm your host, Donna Ritchie, and this is the Chat Zone. We'll see you next time at this same time right here. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching the Chat Zone.